So let's talk about a few CSS properties. Let's start with colors. So we can apply the color property to any typography that we see on our HTML page. So like we said, we could use, target H1 tags by using the H1 selector. We can target this paragraph tag by using the P selector. So just like the paragraph tag in HTML, we can target it. And so now this paragraph right here will get affected with some CSS rules. So we can add color. Let's talk about color. So I could add red and save it. And you'll see now this paragraph will show up red. Anything inside those P tags will show up as red. Now, typically, you're going to see colors show up in a few different formats. One, you could see it using these actual words like red, purple, and there are a few acceptable different color values that you can place here when you use the full words. But that's not usually how you're going to see it. Usually you're going to see it more like this. And this is called the hexadecimal value. And you get these values when you work with an application like Photoshop. And this is a better way to actually choose a certain color. So if I save that and refresh, you'll see FF with 4 zeros after it and this pound sign in front of it results in the same thing. It results in red. So how can you kind of know what color you're getting from it? You really can't unless you have an application like Photoshop, or likewise you could work with a website like color.adobe.com. Now this website used to be called Adobe Color with a K, but you can kind of create a color wheel of your choice and get some complementary colors going as you decide what the color scheme will be of your web application. And then you'll see down here, it'll give you hexadecimal values for each of the different colors that you've got. And that's the value you want to get. You want to grab that 6 kind of character. It's hexadecimal. That means it's 6 either letters or numbers combined. And if you copy those and paste them over, you'll see you'll get those colors. Now if I go back and refresh, now we have this very light kind of green here, if you can see that. So that's how colors work. You can show them with full words or with hexadecimal values. So again, you can't really memorize all of the hexadecimal values. You'll remember black pretty easily. It's just 6 zeros. And just so you know, you can also do the shorthand with 3 zeros. Some of them are acceptable with that shorthand notation. But again, you can't memorize them. You just have to use a website like this or Adobe Photoshop to get those actual values. Now, how do you know if you can use purple, red, and are there, more complex colors like teal or silver? And there are, but the best way to kind of reference it is to use this website called w3schools.com. Now, some developers have kind of polarized opinions about this website, but it's got a lot of great information about HTML and CSS. And you could go and kind of look for where they talk about colors. And you can read all about, some of the hexadecimal values there. And you can probably find, some of the colors laid out in words. So, for example, color names. If we go over here to the left, there's a list of all the color names you could use if you wanted to actually use the names. But again, typically hexadecimal values are the way to go. Now, you'll also see colors laid out in RGB format. And that's very common as well. So just be aware of that, and it looks something like this. And if I save that and go over here, again, this is the RGB value for red. And once again, you can read about that just by looking at their color reference over here and looking at the different types of values that they offer.